Hello, good morning, and welcome to Clear Your Space, Double Your Time, and Take Control of Your Life. Awesome for you to be here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's just after 10 a.m. here in Melbourne. Where are you joining us from? If you are joining us live, use the chat. And if you're watching on replay, you can use comments and let us know where you are joining us from for this workshop. And why was it that you decided to join us today? Oh, I'm just going to let somebody else in. Why did you decide to join us today, and what are you looking to learn? Let's get going. What can we expect today? Well, my business, Space and Time, is all about making conscious choices with how we use our space and our time. So it's not just going through the motions because mum taught you how to do something this way at home, or someone told you to manage your time in another way. Let's have a look at the different systems that work for you and your family in your particular circumstances in relation to how you use your space and your time. Also, I would love to hear from you again. If you're joining us live, pop in the chat. What's your intention? What are you looking to learn today? And if you're watching on replay, use the comments and tell us what's your intention. Because changes of any sort are much easier if we have a clear intention and a clear thing in our mind on the types of things that we're looking to improve and change in our lives. And as we go through the end of the session today, I'll show you and offer you a couple of things, how you can continue on your decluttering journey with us after today, including another free workshop coming up in 2 weeks, and also some one-on-one coaching. If you really want to get serious about decluttering your space and your time, let's do it together on Zoom with some one-on-one coaching sessions. So I'll tell you a bit more about that as we go along. What to expect? Today we are going to talk about, as I said, clear your space, double your time, and take control of your life. Clear your space is all about tips and techniques to sort, to declutter and organize your physical space, mainly. Doubling your time, trying to identify what those important tasks are and let's get them done, and put focus on them each and every day so we can be doing those important things and getting rid of the things that we don't necessarily need to do, those shiny objects, so we can double our time by being very focused. And we're going to have a look at how can we take control of our lives. And that's really through the maintenance tips at the end of the session, those conscious choices, changes and habits that we want to build. Let me just have a quick look at the chat as we're going along. Thank you, Mary Lou, as always, my awesome assistant, joining us from the Philippines. Lucy is joining us near Liverpool in the UK. Thank you, Lucy. Great for you to be here. Mike says he's cleared off the top of the dresser today and was able to put most of it somewhere, but half of it's still sitting on the bed. Excellent. Let's see if we can come up with some permanent homes for those other bits, Mike, that haven't got anywhere to live at the moment. So thank you again for sharing there. Excuse me for keeping an eye on my watch here. People send me messages as we're going through as well. So if I look like I'm distracted, I'm not. I'm just making sure nobody's locked out or hasn't got the link and that sort of thing. So here I am, Julie Cliff, declutter coach and professional organizer at Space and Time. Welcome if you have not been to one of our sessions before. But hello to you as well if you have been to some of our sessions. We'll run a pretty similar format to our normal 6-step system that we will be going through. I'll tell you a bit more about that in a moment. But before starting my professional organising business here in Melbourne 8 years ago, I was an executive assistant, so helping people get and stay organised in the office is a favourite thing of mine to do. I'm married. My husband and my 2 boys have headed off to work and to school. That's nice and quiet here, so I can present to you here our special presentation today. And so, as I say, I'm a professional organizer, which means I go and help people in their homes. I'm heading out to help a client this afternoon for a few hours. hands-on decluttering. But, so I call myself a professional organizer in that capacity. And I call myself a declutter coach when we're doing these online programs and the one-on-one coaching that I mentioned before. So I can coach you the skills so you can do your own decluttering. And I really do believe that anyone can learn these skills, because I really taught myself a lot of them, as well as learning a lot of them as I grew up. So the first part of this presentation is going to be about clearing your space, tips and techniques to sort and declutter and organize at home. So we're going to use the 6 steps of the space and time organizing system to help us through. The first 3 steps are a part of that, and probably the 4th step part of the easy steps to be organized, declutter and get organized at home. And those steps are SYSTEM. It's the space and time organizing system. And the first one is stop the stuff from coming in the front door in the first place. The second one is your commitment to being organized. There is no magic wand. It takes commitment and focus to be organized. Then the third step we're going to talk about is sort the stuff. And then things you no longer need, and that's the decluttering step. Then we're going to, with things you no longer need, we're going to look at the time management side of it as well. And also in the sorting step, looking at time management and how can we double our time by finding those important things. And then the 5th step is easy storage for our physical items. Just like Mike was saying, he's got a few things that are still on his bed after his decluttering earlier today. So let's see if we can find some permanent homes for those things. And the last step, the maintenance tools, we're going to also use that step as the get control of your life or take control of your life as well. We're going to learn all these things today. Let's see how we can really put them into our daily lives to get and stay organized. So let's get stuck in. As I said, we've got lots of things going along. Please ask any questions you have in the chat as we are going along. And we will have a little bit of time for questions at the end. As you heard at the start of this presentation, it is being recorded. We will send out to people that registered and weren't able to make it, but we're also going to put it on YouTube as well so other people can see. So just letting you know that. So here we are. Let's get stuck into the first section, which is all about taking control of our stuff. And this first step is stop the stuff. Let's have a look at the idea of, clutter is exhausting. Having too much clutter can be overwhelming. That means it's more to clean, there's more to organize, there's more to manage, and sometimes it's overstimulating. If you've just got stuff all over the house, you can't rest because you're thinking all the time, I should do something with that. And sometimes there is so much clutter, we're actually physically tripping over it as well. And it can't find anything, it's stressful, and it's really just not a very nice place to be. So that's some of the reasons why having too much stuff and too much clutter is just detrimental to the things that we are trying to do, the easy life that we want to live. And also it's in the way of our productivity and gets in the way of so many things, even relationships, because somebody might be grumpy because the place is a mess. So clutter gets in the way of so many different things. So how can we stop more things coming in? The first thing to do is really be mindful of what you're bringing into the house in the first place. We want to stop more from coming in. We want to be mindful when we're at the supermarket, when we're at the shops, when we're at expos. I'll give some more examples in a minute specifically of how to stop more things from coming in. But it really is almost impossible to make any progress on tackling and letting go of your clutter if there's more and more things still coming in. I often go to people's places regularly, and I'll walk in the front door and they say, oh, just excuse me, Jules, somebody donated this fabric to me. It happened literally this week. There's 6 bags of fabric and I think 4 or 5 big rolls of fabric sitting at the front door of my client. And their spaces are already quite full with their crafting materials. So this is, quite disheartening in a way. We can't deal with that, or the backlog that we're still trying to process, because there's more coming in the front door. So really be mindful of what you're bringing into the home, because you can get on top of it if you stop that flow from coming in. Let's have a look at some specific ways that we can stop more from coming in. So rather than give the kids more toys or give your partner another present, let's donate. Let's give experiences. Let's go hot air ballooning, or let's go for a walk in the park. Let's go for a picnic. Let's come up with some fun and exciting ways. You might even be able to share some ideas. What are some good ways of stopping more toys from coming in the front door? Let me know what your ideas are there. So continuing the idea of stopping more things from coming in, particularly if you're having trouble with your wardrobe and you can't close the doors because there's too much and you still can't find anything to wear. What are some good ways that you can think of that that will stop more clothes from coming in? That would be the idea of, be aware of the sales. They're so tricky, these salespeople. Buy one, get one free. Buy one jacket and the second jacket is half price today. It isn't really a bargain if you never wear it. So just really be mindful of those sales in relation to clothing. Try it on when you're there. Take a friend with you and get their opinion and make sure it does fit you. It does look good on you. And as I say, it's not a bargain if you never wear it. I go to people's places all the time that there's tags still on the clothing. So let's see if we can stop more from coming in. And when you're going shopping, take a list and stick to it and return things if they're not fit for purpose. You get it home and it's the wrong thing, doesn't fit onto something that you thought it was going to work on. Return it so that those sorts of things aren't clogging up the house. So that's a few different ways that we can stop more things coming in. I'm just looking at the chat. Mike says they use the library more than buying books. I love it. How clever is that? Let's use the library. Let's borrow from other people. Thank you so much, Mike, for sharing. That is a great idea, so that we are having less books come into the home. Let's have a look at one more slide. Here we go. Sorry, I was just trying to get something off my screen. It has gone now. Some other ideas to stop more things from coming in. Paperwork is another big one that I see mounting up in people's homes. There's receipts, there's power bills, there's electricity bills, there's gas bills. There's a piece of paper that somebody wrote a note on. Let's see if we can reduce the amount of paperwork that's coming in by asking our utility providers to send us an email with the utility bill on it, whether it's the electricity or the water. Get it to come into your email. Yes, that can mount up as digital clutter, but at least it's not in a mess all over the home. So have a go at unsubscribing, or if you are still wanting to receive something like that, a magazine, make time to read it, put it in the diary and sit down and do it, and limit the number of interests or hobbies that you are doing at one time to reduce the amount of paperwork that is around the house. And how about the idea, this one, how about this one, to stop more things from coming in? Someone offers you something for free and you say, no thanks, don't need to give any more description than that. No is a complete sentence. I would love for people to, when they're being offered free stuff that they don't want, to say, thanks so much for the offer, but I don't need it. And that is a big one for people. I know that the people are thinking they're being generous and they're offering you something for free, but they are probably just trying to get it out of their own house and finding an easy way to do that. So say no to giveaways. And that it also applies to the if you go to an expo, like a travel expo or a disability expo, where there's lots of store holders and they're trying to sell their wares. Just pick up the pamphlets that you really want, or take a photo of it so that you have a record of it. Don't take the physical paperwork home with you. Again, I see that all over people's homes. And more ways to stop more stuff from coming in: keepsakes and memorabilia. Say no thank you to people that are offering their their offcuts, their outcasts, their bits and pieces they don't want, even to family heirlooms. Like, who said that it's your job to hold on to all the family heirlooms? Perhaps somebody else that has more space or can manage it more easily, maybe they can look after all the keepsakes and memorabilia. So say no and stop more stuff from coming in. So what's your idea there? Which technique did you like? What's some other ideas for stopping more things from coming in? All right, here we go. Mike has made another comment in the chat. I love this one as well. I found that when I shop online, I put things in the cart, but I don't buy it right away. I'll wait for a few days and usually find that I don't need it at all, avoiding the impulse. How clever is that? Mike, I think you need to send me a nice big tip sheet. You're coming up with some really good ones today. Thank you so much for your input. Anybody else got ideas on stopping the stuff from coming in the front door? Let pop it in the chat. What else have we got? Step 2. So we are looking in this section on clearing our space, and this is step 2 in the space and time organizing system, and it's your commitment to being organized. And we are saying, actually, no problem, go for it, Mike. Mike says he's not trying to monopolize the chat. Please do. I love the tips. Please do it, and I'm looking forward to hearing other people's suggestions as well. So the idea of your commitment to being organized, as I said at the start of the session, there is no magic wand. People are decluttered and organized because they plan it that way. They spend time on it. They are committed to it. They keep a very tight schedule. They say no to commitments that people are asking them to do, and no to when they're being given free things. Just like I was mentioning before. And this part of the section, we really want to focus on your commitment to being organized. Let's not worry about what your son does, or your husband, or your wife, or your daughter, or your grandkids do. Let's get you organized and focused in this section. And we really want to break the task down into small pieces, so that we can make some progress on it. Any big task is better if it's broken down into very small, easily achieved and manageable parts, so that we can declutter and get organized at home. So as I said, this is really about making that commitment to being organized. Yes, you want to declutter your house. Well, when are you going to do it? And that's the next thing that we can talk about here. Is, when are you going to do it? I want to see it in your diary. I want it written down if you've got a paper diary, or I want it in your calendar, and I want to know, are you going to do 10 minutes or 15 minutes, which is fantastic to just get you going, because it might seem like a big task, even if you're trying to clear off your desk. Maybe it feels like it's going to be massive, but I think you could probably do 10 or 15 minutes. And give it a go. Literally put your timer on, put your watch on, use your phone, put the timer on and get it going. And if you're not doing it at this second, as I said, let's put it in your diary for Tuesday afternoon or Saturday morning. When is it going to suit? When is it going to suit you to start on your decluttering journey? And as that second dot point there says, that many of my clients have great success by just doing these tiny bites, just 15 minutes a couple of times a day. Particularly some of the clients I coach are living with multiple sclerosis, with MS, and they find that they have a lot of fatigue. So 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there makes a really big difference and is manageable. So have a bit of a go. Would really love to know, what day are you going to start? How committed are you to being organised here? Yeah, Beth says set a timer. Absolutely. Put that timer on. Have it, make a little sing and a dance when you're finished. There's different ones you can get on YouTube. There's just the one on the phone, the timer you can get, or there's different visual ones that you can buy that are really big in the ADHD community, where you can sort of see the time counting down and what that portion of time looks like. So yeah, absolutely. Set a timer and get going. Thanks, Beth. I love it. Mary Lou says she loves the idea of breaking it down into small pieces. We can all, we can all eat an elephant one bite at a time. One big task into small pieces, I think, is a great way to do it. And it's absolutely manageable. So this step here has been your commitment to being organised. So you want to keep on going through the steps. Step 3 of sort the stuff. Beth says she also has timed a task to see how long it actually takes. For example, it only takes 4 minutes rather than 20. I love that idea, Beth. And then because sometimes we think, oh my gosh, it's going to take all day, but it's only taken 4 minutes. That's a bit shorter than all day, or the 20 minutes that you might have thought. Thank you, Beth, for sharing that. And then you've got a bit of an idea for next time when you want to approach it. You think, oh, that's only going to take me 4 minutes. I can absolutely do that, just as the rice is cooking on the stove or something. But please don't get sidetracked and overboil the rice and make a mistake there. Use your timer. But thanks, Beth. I love that idea of actually timing how long it takes to do a task. Fabulous. So as I said, we are going to go now to step 3, which is sort the stuff. So we're going to look at this next slide that shows all of my utensils from my kitchen on the left, all jumbled, all higgledy-piggledy, all in a big mess. And then on the right, they are sorted out. All the knives are together, all the vegetable peelers are there, all the whisks, the wooden spoons, sorted out. And it's so much easier to look at that picture on the right and have some thoughts from there as to which one of these items will we keep and which ones will we let go. You couldn't make any of those decisions by looking at that jumble on the left. It's just too hard for our brain to make any decisions. But once we sort of make the idea of putting like items together, we can really make a difference to help us let things go. So this sorting of our physical stuff is really handy. So we can just start in one area. It might be one box or the top drawer of your desk, or one shelf in the pantry. Get the things out onto a surface, or have a card table or something like that, a little portable table beside you working, and be able to sort the things together. Put all of the knives together, as I said, the forks, the spoons, or if you're in the pantry, put all the pasta together, all the rice together. And then you've really got more of an idea of what you have, and then we can start to make some decisions. Have I got too much? And what can I let go of? Let's have a look at some other ways we can sort our household goods. So we can put the small appliances together. A couple of years ago, when I was working in a kitchen, I found 2 identical rice cookers. They had no idea they had 2 rice cookers, but one was kept in one end of the kitchen and one was kept in the other. But by bringing all the little appliances out and putting them on the kitchen table, we found we had 2 rice cookers. To continue on the sorting, we can put all the baking equipment, dishes and bowls together. Put all the wooden spoons together, serving spoons, cutlery. Again, we can just do one category at a time. This is talking about almost the whole of the kitchen here, but you would just start with one little category. and go from there. The junk drawer, you can put your batteries, your tape, all your tape together, sticky tape, masking tape, those sorts of things, scissors, all the items from your junk drawer. Toys, you could put the Lego together, or the Barbie dolls together, or the Shopkins together. Whoever invented Shopkins, I have no idea. All those tiny pieces are infuriating. And I've got balls with an exclamation and a question mark after it, because I did have all of our little small balls when my boys were smaller, had them all together in a box, and they thought that was great fun. They picked it up and threw it all over the house. So probably not the best thing to keep actually stored together, but the sorting process works very well. And again, paperwork, you can sort in lots of different ways as well. So this is really a great way for us to really, I'm going to flick back to that slide quickly to show us of how we can start with this jumbled mess on the left, sort it out, and it's much more orderly on the right, and we can start to make some decisions there. And I'm going to jump into this section now, all about doubling our time, because we're going to look at sorting our to-do items now. So we're still in the sorting step, but we want to look at sorting and prioritizing our to-do items. I'm going to fly through this because we're halfway through the session. So, but we might as well, Mary Lou, look at doing a whole workshop on time management again coming up. So if anyone's interested in that, maybe pop your details in the chat and we can send you an invite to that one when it comes up. But we will look very quickly now at sorting our to-do. Excuse me while I just take a little sip. Now, the idea of sorting our to-do items is so that we can put them in a weekly planner like this one and space out our day so that we have enough time to move between appointments. I've got a very busy day today. I wish I could have planned it a little better, but unfortunately, this presentation, a phone call that I've already done this morning, and then quite a journey to my client, then coming home and then doing an in-person presentation, just all came together on the one day. But the idea of this weekly planner is that you can get it all out and not have such a running around like a headless chook day that I'm going to have today. But thankfully, my awesome Mary Lou, my virtual assistant, runs a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. So grateful to have her assistance by running one of these crazy days. And Mary Lou Speak of the Devil, has just put this weekly planner in the chat. So if you would like a copy of this, jump on the website and download that so you can start to plan out your day, so you can have less headless chook days than I am today by planning out your time. So what we can do on that weekly planner is to literally block out the times. So time blocking, put in your time for work, or if you're working for somebody else or working on your business activities. Also put in your domestic duties, the washing, the groceries, the meal prep, all of those things that we need to do to feed the family. Put in any other family commitments and the me time. So plot that all out. Let's have a look and see what that looks like when you've got it all plotted out. And then we can start to double your time by saying no. We've already mentioned about saying no to the physical items. How about saying no to your to-dos? Once we've got all that written out, we could probably outsource some of it as well. Who's going to do the tasks, whether it's the kids can do it, whether it's you might need to pay someone or get a neighbor to come and help you with, just again so that you can free up a little bit more of your time, or even double your time by getting somebody else to do the work for you. So you can, I'm just going to flick back one as well. There might be some of those domestic duties that you can get the kids to help out with, or your husband or your wife or somebody in the household. or maybe you do need to get a cleaner to come in every now and then to help you and have to pay for them. Or maybe with family commitments, I highly suggest that the children only do 1 or 2 extracurricular activities at a time, particularly if you're a very, very busy person yourself. Knock yourself out. If you want to run around after them every day, all day, every night, go for it. But if you really are struggling, you're exhausted, you're burning the candle at both ends, let's have a go at reducing those activities they're doing, and maybe some of your extracurricular activities as well, and say no and help you double your time by really focusing on those important things that are going to make your life easier, going to make your life more fun, and have some more quality time with your family. So as that last point there says, double your time by staying focused on those important things and by saying no to some of those things that aren't so important at the moment. Doesn't mean you don't ever do them. It just might not be, I can't do this at this second. It might be next week, it might be next year, but we are making these conscious choices, as we said at the start of the session, conscious choices with how we use our space and our time. So this has all been about how we can double our time by sorting and prioritizing all of those commitments that we need to do with our time. All right, we're going to keep on moving to step 4. Mike says, sorry, just going quickly back to the comments. Mike says, my hardest sort pile is the stuff not needed. Hate trash, but hard to figure out how to recycle or donate. Awesome. Let's talk about that right now. Mike, you've hit the nail on the head. We are going to look at ways that we can let go of things we no longer need. Perfect timing. You must have known it was coming up. Step 4. This is all about the decluttering step. So how do we go about letting go of items we no longer need, and how do we decide what we want to keep? One place to start is to let go if you have multiple. And you saw that, or you may not have seen, I didn't really point it out when the picture was up, that I have 7 vegetable peelers. If I was worried that I had too many utensils, if they wouldn't fit in my drawer, I could let go of a couple of those vegetable peelers, although they do cut a little bit differently. Some are better for potatoes and some are better for carrots. Not that I really peel my carrots so much anymore, but how about you give the idea of letting go if you have multiple, and I will come up with some ideas and suggestions on where to let go and donate them. I have a resource on my website, spaceandtime.com.au, where it has a lot of places you can donate stuff. Now, that is very Melbourne and Victorian focused, but it might give you some ideas, just going back to Mike's point of not wanting to throw things into landfill. It might just give you some ideas that you could possibly research in your where you're living. So have a look at that list under resources for letting go and donating items. You can also thank the item for its service. Like you might have had something for 10 or 15 years and you go, okay, thank you. It was awesome at the time. It was the great jacket to wear to the footy, but I don't need it anymore. I don't go to the footy anymore. It's perfectly fine. Thank it for its service and donate it to somebody else that might be able to wear that jacket. Excuse me. Also, to make it a little bit easier for you to let go of the item, you might like to take a photo or make a video of you and the item or your kids with the item, and you could share, you know, this is my favorite toy, and what about my pineapple? Let's have a look at my pineapple here. I could make a video. Hi, this is my little pineapple. My friend Christy gave it to me and it's really lovely. And it was very kind that she gave it to me, but it's just clutter on my desk. So thank you, pineapple, for bringing joy to my life, but I'm going to donate you to somebody that might like it. So you might like to thank it for its service and record that on a video for you to remember down the track. And don't forget that just because you've let go of the item doesn't mean that your memories disappear. You'll still know that that little pineapple was so cute and it, was lovely on your desk, but it was just in the way. I didn't have any room to put my sticky tape. Just be the idea that your memories will not vanish when you let go of an item. But these photos and videos will be great to look at as well down the track if you are worried about forgetting about that item or the person that gave you the item. Thank you, Mike. Mike says loves the video idea. I do like it myself. And here's a photo of some of my children's artwork. The best thing to do as well when you do take photos of kids' artwork, put them in front of it. Again, you could get them to make a video of, tell them about that little red fish or, those bits and pieces that are there. And I do have some of those photos, but probably not as many. I should have taken more with the kids with their artwork. And the idea is take a photo of the artwork and then put it in the recycling. And here's a bundle of questions you can ask yourself if you're still not quite sure, do I need it or not? When was the last time that you used it? Was it 6 months? Was it 12 years ago? Was it 50 years ago? When was the last time that you used it? If you're looking at clothes and you're a bit worried, am I going to let it go or not? Does it fit you well? Put it on. Get somebody else to come over and, a friend or your mom or sister or brother, and do a little bit of a fashion show and see what they think. Is it the right size? Is it damaged? And do you like it? Like, did somebody give you this thing? Do you actually like the pineapple? Or do you think it's a bit silly and wish that that person never gave it to you in the first place? Let it go for your own mental health. Don't beat yourself up looking at something that gives you bad feelings, like a tiny little dress hanging in your wardrobe that's, you wore when you're 15 and you're never going to fit back into something that you wore when you were 15. Let it go if it's giving you bad feelings. And do you use the item on a regular basis? I know sometimes we only use things occasionally like Christmas or skiing or holidays. I'm not really talking about those things. I'm more talking about the daily items that just seem to get pushed to the back of the cupboard or back of the drawer, and you never reach for them. So they might as well not be there. They might as well be let go and freed for somebody else to use. So it frees up more space for the things that you do use. And the last stop point is a very clever question to ask yourself. It says, if you didn't already own it, would you go out of your way to buy it? So I really like that one. If you're looking at something and go, oh, green highlighter, if I didn't have a green highlighter, I probably wouldn't go and buy another one because the yellow one's just as good. So, you can ask yourself that question. If you didn't already own it, would you go out of your way to buy it? So did some of those questions, those techniques, the taking the photo, the video, or asking yourself some of these questions, did they help you out and help you decide on what to let go? And again, to think about all those places you can donate things to. There's not just the charity shops. There's lots of other people that are collecting goods. There's even here in Melbourne that we collect things for some of the Ukrainian refugees that have found their way to Melbourne and have come here with absolutely nothing. So there's lots of places we can donate things for those types of people. Or even just say babies items. You might have a cute little pair of booties or a jacket, and it's so cute because it reminds you of your child. But there are literally babies here in Melbourne that don't have booties, they don't have jackets, they're freezing cold. So we can let the items go, donate them for somebody else to use. What is sentimental to you may be useful to somebody else. So look out for some of those other ways. And I love my local Buy Nothing Facebook group, and I'm sure they're all around the world. So Buy Nothing, and there's a particular one in my local area. I put photos on there of all sorts of things that I bring home from my clients that they no longer need. and we just give them away. And the stuff that I have got rid of through that is fabulous, rather than dumping it on the charity stores. See if you can find one of those buy nothing groups lately. Thank you, Mary Lou. She says, I love all the questions. Surely I will use it. That's a very good question, isn't it? To ask yourself, you know, am I actually going to use it? And be truthful to yourself there. So that's all about things you no longer need. That's all the decluttering. If you need more help with techniques, letting things go, there's lots of resources on the Space and Time website, spaceandtime.com.au. There's techniques for letting go of kids' keepsakes, all sorts of things like that. So check those out if you need a little bit of additional inspiration. So step 5 is easy storage for our stuff. I need to speak faster. This is all about great storage. So we've gone through all of the 4 steps beforehand, and now we're looking at the storage. We've decided what we are keeping, and we're going to set up those permanent homes. And it's easy storage so that it's easy to retrieve. It's easy to put back on the shelf or in the basket or in the jar that you got it from. You can label the box, you can label the shelf. So that's easy for you and anyone that's coming into your home to help you out. All of these permanent homes that are easily labeled and easy to use are awesome ideas for easy storage. Okay, thank you. Mary Lou has put a link to the blog, so check those out for any other inspiration for letting things go. And Lucy said she had a professional organizer come to her home, but I'm still looking for tips with maintenance. Perfect. We'll get to maintenance very soon. I'm glad that went well for you, Lucy. That is excellent. Now, easy for you, your family, and any outside help. Let's quickly have a look at these easy storage solutions. Deep breath. This is the 5th step in the system. So we didn't go at the start, I'm going to get organized, I'm going to go to Kmart or Walmart or wherever your local shop is and buy a heap of containers. That's not what we're doing. We did the decluttering. Now we know what we are storing. We can go and buy the exact right container and have the exact right basket. We know where it's going to go now, so we can get what we need so that it's nice and easy. That being said, there are 1,000,001 ideas on Pinterest and Instagram and the web in general of storage ideas. I'm just going to fly through a few here that might help you with the idea of why we use storage containers and some actual ideas. So these 2 here on the screen are the ideas of keeping like items together, some smaller items or some bigger items. You can find lots of them online. We are, sorry, I was just looking at the chat. Mike said to Lucy, wow, you're doing well, hanging in there. It's pretty late in the UK. Good on you, Lucy. I love your passion and your commitment. So glad that you are joining us. So this one here is keeping, again, the like items together, and all the bits for the Ninja slicer, whatever it's called, the blender thing, I can never remember the name of it. All of those juicing bits are together in that back tub, and the ice cream maker bits are in the front tub. So again, just keeping like items together, and I've got this permanent home. These are just little containers on the right to keep the bits and pieces together. This is my Tupperware here at home that just has very simple label, but we all know where things go. And I just buy 1 kilo of flour to fit in that container. I don't use a huge amount of flour, don't go through it a lot. I don't have that huge rice thing anymore. That was my husband during COVID. I think we had a lot of rice when we could get it. But easy storage and easy, you know, not expensive. Again, keeping like items together. There's sauces and jars, seeds and breadcrumbs, pasta and noodles. And this was my client. She chose to label the shelf rather than the container. So that was her choice. Then we can look at digital storage as well, and printing those digital ideas, photos, and turning it into a nice book. Or maybe we just put our photos in a box, and that could be the 1980s. I think there's a lot of black and white photos there, so I don't think it is actually the 1980s, but maybe that's all you need to do. You could spend as much time organizing your photos as you want, but see how you go with just those couple of tiny little tips with the idea of making a beautiful book or just putting it in a photo safe box. This is just a shoe box. It's not photo safe in particular, but an idea here. Let me have a quick look at the chat before we run into the last one. Mike says, I find organized items can take up more room than clutter. Oh, okay. But it might be a fair point too, because you sort of, rather than lots of things being stacked on top of each other, they're separated. So that could be true. You might be right there, Mike. All right, so this is the last section of take control of your life. So we've looked at clear your space by looking at lots of these tips. Then we doubled your time by getting focused on those important things and saying no to things. And we're going to take control of your life through step 6, which is maintenance tools. So step 6, we are doing very well. What we can do for the maintenance, and Lucy asked about the maintenance, return items to the permanent home straight away. You use the scissors. Oh, I haven't even got any scissors here. You use a green highlighter and you put the green highlighter straight back in its little tub where it lives. Or if you're in the kitchen, you use the flour and then you put it straight back in the pantry where it lives. I know there are exceptions to this, but the general idea is you use something and put it away straight away. Know yourself, know which times of the day are best for you for the maintenance. I suggest, you're doing a little bit of maintenance as you go along, but sometimes you might want to do a bit of a cleanup at the end of the day as well. After we've finished our dinner each night, we all do sit down at the table, my husband, 2 sons and I. Everybody helps do the dishes, pack the dishwasher, clear the dish drainer, and clean off the dining room table and the island bench. And once they've done that, they take their clothes, which my husband has probably folded while we're doing those things, and they put their things away. So that's like a little 15-minute job that we all do at the end of every day, because that suits us, that works well for us at that time of the day. That little, 15 minutes of power, if you want to call it that sort of thing. So know what's going to suit you. Are you a morning person? Are you an afternoon person? Are you a late night person? Please don't do too much decluttering at 3 o'clock in the morning. But as I say, choose the right time for you to be doing this maintenance or any other decluttering. To help with your maintenance, get other people on board to help you with your journey. Be accountable, share it with others, get a friend or a family member, or pay somebody like Lucy also has had a professional organizer in her home, someone like myself, or with the coaching that I offered, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about in a second, and update them on your progress so that you can stay accountable by doing those things that organized people do, as I mentioned before, knowing how long it takes you to do something, getting to appointments on time, looking ahead of time to see what's coming up so you can make any plans. So all of these little things that you can do each and every day to help you stay decluttered and organized. But I think you can, of course, do this daily maintenance. And you get home from work and you unpack your bag, which has got your lunchbox, your laptop in it. You put your laptop on charge. You empty your lunchbox, put in the dishwasher or wash it out. You put your keys exactly where it should be. So all these little things that we do along the way are great for maintenance. But then you can do like a spring clean as well for maintenance, and a spring declutter. So have a bit of a think about what are those times of the year that'll work for you to get in and do a good tidy up as well as you're going through. And also, don't forget to use your diary and that weekly planner that Mary Lou put the link for earlier. Get the time in the diary. If it's not in the diary, it doesn't exist. If you're not making that commitment, you'll go, oh, I might go and wash the cat instead, or I might watch the paint dry on the wall. You know, if you've got something in your diary, you've written it in, you've made that commitment, you're more likely to get it done. This morning when I woke up, my task for this morning was to print the handouts for the presentation I'm giving tonight, send an invoice to one of my clients, and also to pay Mary Lou, which is always very important, and to make a call. So all those 4 things were in my diary. I can probably show you. There they are, all pretty, ready to go. And that's exactly what I got up and did this morning, because they are in my diary. Carry around a little card to remind you what it's all about. Just reaching for it because I've got it ready to go tonight. This one says, my goal is that I can find what I want in 30 seconds or left. Is that backwards or the right way around? Mary Lou?
Yeah, it's good. We can see it.
I can't hear you. Why can't I hear? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It says I can find what I need in 30 seconds or less. So maybe it doesn't matter. Don't worry, Mary Lou. I sprung that one on you. So you can have a little card, carry that around so you remember, you know, oh, it's too hard. What am I doing all this for? Have that in your hand to remind you. And stay committed to being organized. So that's some maintenance tools. Wash the cat. Oh, you like that, Mike. You're so quick. You picked up that one. We can always come up with some better ideas than decluttering. I think there was a lot of people that said after all the lockdowns here in Melbourne, I still didn't even do my decluttering. We had so much time in our hands, still didn't get it done. So, you know, it's probably never going to get done unless you write it. Okay. This session has been a check-in and an audit for how we use our space and our time. We really want to make those conscious choices of what to keep and what to let go so that we can live the life that we want to live. So we sorted the items, we set up the permanent homes, and then we kept up the maintenance tips that we just started and shared. So that we can use our stuff to bring us closer to the life that we want to live, rather than too much stuff getting in the way and, you know, tripping over it and breaking your leg. So that's what our 6 steps have been today. I promise you to let you know what else is coming up. Keep an eye on our website and our Facebook page, but you can come along in 2 weeks' time, same time. Yes, same time. I'm just looking at the time. Just as note, Mary Lou, that will be the last one that we're on our daylight savings time. We flick back to normal time after that one. So just thought I'd mention it while we're there. But this one will be at the same time as this session today, all about wardrobe decluttering. We're going to step through the same 6 steps. I know it's boring, but it is a great system because I wrote it and I know it works, and it just keeps you focused. You know, we're not going to get fancy and come up with new coat hangers at the start or anything like that. We're going to do our decluttering and follow those same steps as well. So 30th of March, come along for that hour as well. Thanks, Mary Lou. That's the link in the chat there if you want to register to come along to that one. And also, I mentioned about the one-on-one coaching that I do. So we can talk about your specific challenges that you're having. Is it your space or your time that you're having the challenges with? Come along and let's do 6 one-hour sessions. We'll have a 15-minute call in between. There's a workbook and a 30-day checklist, private Facebook, all for $897. The link is in the chat from Mary Lou to get and stay focused. That will help you continue on your decluttering journey. And also, if you just want to chat after today, I'm happy to offer you a 15-minute clarity call that Mary Lou has also put in the chat to be able to you know, just get a bit clearer. No obligation. Let's just have a chat on Zoom for 15 minutes. So with 3 minutes to spare, does anybody have any additional questions that they want to pop in the chat or take themselves off mute and ask about clearing your space, doubling your time, or taking control of your life? Mary Lou, would you like us to put our cameras on so you can take a photo? Yeah,
Yes,
if anyone's game, turn your camera on, give us a big smile, and we'll take a photo. Oh, good work. Hi, Lucy. Lovely to see you. And we'll take a photo so we can share on social media and say, hey, we had fun today. All right, you count us in, Mary Lou. 1, 2. Oh, you done it? Oh, good. Thanks, Mike. Thanks,
hey,
Lucy.
Mike.
Good on you.
All right.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions before we finish up? What was the best tip of the day? Pop that in the chat as well so that we know what the best things were. Best tip. We're going to finish up right on time. How good. And it's been a great warm up, ready for my client now, and they're ready for my presentation this evening. Speaking to Asperger's Victoria. So be adults on the spectrum diagnosed with Asperger's today that I'm speaking to tonight. I'm pretty well giving them the same presentation, but in person, which is cool. All right, Lucy says, no, everything was clear. I resonated with bringing less into the house. Lucy, I hear you. It just it's so, you can't get anywhere if there's still more coming in. So yeah, do that one. And Beth says, make a commitment to yourself. Yes, put it in the diary, commit to yourself. Don't change it. Awesome. Mike says, loves the video to be able to let it go. Thank you, Julia, Mary Lou. Awesome. Very helpful. Thank you. Let's wrap it up there. Hope to see you at the wardrobe workshop in 2 weeks' time. I'm going to save the chat too. I might have forgotten to do that recently. Let me save the chat on the way out. Thank you. Been great to be with you. If you need anything else, use that email address or find me online, and look forward to helping you further. Take care. Bye for now.
Thanks.